WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
FM 88.1 WHPR, Highland Park.
WVIE 107.3 FM Charlotte, Amalia, Virgin Islands.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
It's that time, y'all. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. Yeah, it's straight talk with Valerie. Come on. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. Yeah, it's straight talk with Valerie. Come on. It's straight talk with Valerie. It's straight talk with Valerie. Come on. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. It's straight talk with Valerie. Come on. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. It's straight talk with Valerie. Come on. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. It's straight talk with Valerie. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. It's straight talk with Valerie. Come on. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. It's straight talk with Valerie. Black coffee, no sugar, no cream. It's straight talk with Valerie. Come on.
Many people wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model size. When I start to tell them, they think I'm telling lies. I say, it's in the reach of my arms, the span of my hips, the stride of my step, the curl of my lips. I'm a woman, phenomenally. I walk into a room just as cool as you please, and to a man the fellows stand or fall down on their knees. Then they swarm around me, a hive of honeybees. I say, it's the fire in my eyes, the flash of my teeth, the swing in my waist, the joy in my feet. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Men themselves have wondered what they see in me. They try so much, but they can't touch my inner mystery. When I try to show them, they say they still can't see. I say, it's in the arch of my back, the sun of my smile, the ride of my breasts, the grace of my style. I'm a woman, phenomenally. Now you understand just why my head's not bowed. I don't shout or jump about or have to talk real loud. When you see me passing, it ought to make you proud. I say, it's in the click of my heels, the bend of my hair, the palms of my hands, the need for my care. Because I'm a woman, phenomenally, phenomenal woman, all you women and me.
What's going on, everybody? You are tuned in to the Real Black Coffee, no sugar, no cream. And tonight, we're going to pay tribute to a phenomenal woman. A woman who is my friend, my sister, my confidant, my correction, my everything. Chelita Robinson-Lucas. Chelita was phenomenal in everything that she did. She was a loving person, sweet and kind, but powerful. She will get you together verbally and with that bat. But she had so much love in her heart to share, compassion. and very passionate about helping others in everything she did in the community. She loved her hometown, the city of Inkster, Michigan, but she loved nothing more than her children. Roll that clip for me, Marquise. Chelita's pride and joy was her children. She displayed an unconditional love, the love that is patient, kind, resilient, and tough when it needed to be. And although she has transitioned and gained her wings, I know that her wings span and cover her children in heaven with the unconditional love she displayed on earth. And we have with us Chelita's twin, her beautiful daughter, Patience Lucas. Say hello to everyone, Patience.
Hello. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. It's a pleasure to be on this show, to be with you all, to talk about my mom and to honor her.
Thank you for being here. And we're going to just get right into it. First of all, we have one of your mother's classmates in the studio with us. Lavita, can you say hello to everyone and to Patience?
Hello, everyone. And hey, Patience, how are you today?
I'm good. Today was a great day for a Monday.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good to hear. You know, every day is a blessing. It is a blessing.
So we're going to get right into it. I started this show out with Phenomenal Woman because that's what your mother was. But can you describe what type of mother she was?
My mother was, I feel like, let me not say feel, my mother was phenomenal. She was very open about her life and her life experiences. She both sheltered us and kept us safe while also letting us know what was going on in the world so that we wouldn't be ignorant. She gave us life experiences. When she would go out and help people, she would take us with her. You know, she was a single mother, so sometimes she didn't have a choice but to take her babies with her. But best believe we were always protected. You know, I called her Mama Bear, and I'm Baby Bear. Because, you know, looking at her, she'll look soft and cuddly, but if you come at her wrong, or if you come for her kid, it's over for you.
Yeah.
Baby. All I can say is baby, because I cannot remember what happened. And she was like, do I need to come up there with my bat? And I was like, no, not the bat. Like, I got this, sis. I got this. And I had to keep reminding her, remember, I'm older than you. I'm the oldest of them all. So you have to listen to me. But baby, she will be ready to rock and roll. She will bat you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
In a heartbeat.
But that was the love. That was her love, right? That's how she showed the world that I love you and that you're not messing with nothing I love.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, that bat was the bat of love, right? So she made sure y'all can get a piece of this. Come for my kids. Come for my friends. That's how she was. And that's how she was in school.
Oh, wow. So let's transition into that a little bit, because perhaps Patience have not heard some of the stories about her mom. So roll back to, I guess it was elementary school, when you met her and you and her became friends. So let's go there.
So we went to Carver Elementary, which is now Baylor Woodson, which is now whatever it is now. But when I met your mom, Patience, she was a leader. So when I say a leader, she was the as the old folks would say, she was a grown kid, right? And I was a grown kid. So we became good friends because we was trying to run everything and trying to make everybody else do what we wanted them to do. So it was her leadership at that young age where she'd be like, no, you gonna do this and we gonna do this and they gonna do that and you gonna go over here. And I was talking to another classmate and she was like, Chelita is the only person I know who been old since elementary. I said, oh, that's so, but that's how she was. She was that person who would gather everybody together and quickly. So, you did it. You either moved or got out of her way because she wasn't going to stop until whatever it is that goal was, it was reached.
Well, I didn't know her in childhood.
Yeah.
I met her through church.
Okay.
And her mother, if you think Chelita is strong, Mama Cat will get you together. And I admired that strength. She was so strong, outspoken, yet compassionate. And I had a bad anxiety attack that developed agoraphobia. I couldn't even stand for a clock to tick. And she got wind of it. And I didn't realize there was mutual admiration, right? I was just admiring her, but she got wind of me being sick. And she came over to my mother's house like Esther on Sanford and Son, baby. She had that sword. She came on in the room and got to praying and got me together. After that, I started to meet more of her children. Okay. Chelita was gone.
Okay.
Sawan was still there, at the church, and Lil Willie and all of them. And then when Chelita came home for a visit is when I had the opportunity to meet her.
Okay.
And it was sort of like, oh, so you're the person my mama been talking about, that kind of thing. And I'm like, yep, this is me. And we just kind of hit it off and became closer and closer. Yeah. But this last year, even closer because she wanted to be a part of the street outreach work that we were doing.
Okay.
And that's when she shared with me all of the things she did at United Way and how she wrote these plans and how she was like, you're going to make me come home. And I'm like, well, come on. And she was like, nah, I don't want to come back to Inkster. But I was like, you have to come for the opening. And to be honest and transparent, a lot of the components of the program that we are doing right now were her input.
Okay.
From being from the city of Inkster and having that mental health degree and having the connections within the resources. And she and I talked about me being a pillar in the community with the work that we're doing with harm reduction and going into the federally qualified health clinic. And I said I wasn't going to cry during this show, and I feel it coming. But I'm going to try to get through with it because that has come to fruition.
Yeah. Yeah.
That plan for that clinic has come to fruition.
Yeah.
And those doors will open May 1st.
Yay!
So I'm just excited about that and, to execute some of the other things that we talked about. She was my soundboard and our conversations would go all over. We would start out maybe talking about harm reduction, then talking about relationships, then talking about church, then cussing, then getting a glass of wine, or whatever. But we could be on the phone for 2 hours. One time I just had to be like, girl, look, I'm sleepy, but, we're going to pick this back up tomorrow. But that's how we would just go and flow
and that's
flow
just
and flow.
The naturalness. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't forced. It wasn't, and she wasn't a person who could fake. Like fake was not a thing she could do. Well, like, okay, yeah, I could be cordial, but I'm not gonna be fake with you. I'm gonna tell you the truth. You might not like it, and I honestly don't care if you like it because I'm telling you the truth because you need to know the truth, and that's a beautiful thing when you have somebody who is unapologetic, not evil in what they're saying, but
Just real.
but real in what they're saying, because sometimes, as my shirt say, you gotta get your shirt shook. You gotta, you know, somebody gotta gather you up, and it was never, you never felt, you might have felt like, oh, what, you know, well, damn, but you never felt disrespected.
True.
You never felt disrespected when she
You
had
can
to tell you
have
about
some
yourself.
pearl clenching moments, like, okay, but it was coming from the heart, and you knew that. If you knew her, you knew that.
Yeah.
That it was coming from the heart,
Yeah.
and she's just gonna keep it real.
And we didn't have real long conversations. We talked more on Facebook, or she might text, you know, and say, hey, girl. And I would text, you know, because I was trying to, you know, be on the down low on Love and Logic, not really putting myself out there. She's like, nope, my friends. I'm like, why you keep blasting me out? She was like, you better use your voice. I'm like, Chelita, I just want you to say it.
Right.
I don't want to be out front. I just want to say the words. So, you know, she's like, no, sis, you got to do it. And I was just, you know, I told you from day one, just afraid, because, you know, these are big shoes. There was a lot of substance in the human that she was.
Yes.
A lot of substance. And
I
I'm
really-
like, yeah, ooh, Lord, ooh, child.
Go ahead, sweetie.
I really want to speak on that, because I have heard a lot of stories about my mom when she was like in elementary school, high school. And a lot of the times it's like she spoke with her fists, with her hands, you know?
You know what?
But as she matured and she got older, she was a wordsmith.
Yeah.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Yes.
She could
Chop you
out
up.
anybody.
But
And she was-
Patience, that's why she had to use her fists, because everybody wasn't that mature. I'm telling you, she was an old woman in a young lady's body, and everybody wasn't prepared for that. So yeah, she might have to scrap, because she might have said something to you and you still trying to figure out what she said.
Yeah. But as she got older, she got more, you know, matured, and she could say what she needed to say out of love. And she said it in such a way that you felt gathered, but you felt encouraged and uplifted at the same.
Yeah.
And she's touched a lot of people like that. I've known her to you know, talk with her hands and then gather up, pick them up, pick the pieces up, you know, verbally with her words, and push them and carry them on throughout the day, you know?
Yeah.
She just had the talent of nurturing people and healing people. And she was a fool.
And you used the key word healing. So if Levita could tap in, because it's someone who she did help.
So I had a conversation just shortly after your mom passed, and you know, you don't know who knows who or how people's lives have intersected. And the person was sharing with me that they, you know, had a substance problem, and they, you know, had been going through some things, and it was your mother who made sure they were good, that they were in the right place, that they were getting the help that they needed. And when everybody else in life would give up on you because you have a dependency issue, she wouldn't let it go, because she knew the person inside of that dependency issue. And you know, I mentioned, you know, when I was talking to him, I said, you know, I mentioned, you know, your story. And he was like, yeah, he was like, that was my heart, because she was one who, again, would gather me up with them words, snatch me up and say, this is what we gonna do, and this is how you're gonna get help, and this is what you need, because she understood all of that. And everybody doesn't have that space of healing to see beyond the drug use and see that human. And that he was like, I was like devastated when I heard that. So he, you know, it was just amazing, but I never knew their lives intersected. I would have never known that, because she wasn't running around telling everybody business.
No kiss and tell. No.
You know, so I helped this person. I never heard anybody she helped. But she helped a lot of people. A lot of people. They're saying it now, but in the midst of that thing, it was your business, and y'all kept it amongst yourselves. And I was like, that was beautiful. Just for him to recant that to me, I was like, wow, that's again a woman of substance.
She was. You know, we have a couple of people who are going to call in, and they are going to share some of their stories and their love for Chelita. So let's go to a musical break. And while we're talking about sisters, we're going to go to Sisters with Power, written by my cousin, Millard Thomas Jr., and Run of the Mill Productions. And we'll be right back.
So let us be heard, 'cause our bondage is broken and we are free. We're coming together in unity. There's a new nation that's coming up. It's being united with unity and love. Our bondage is broken and we are free. We're coming together in victory. We are our sisters. We are sisters. Sisters with power. Coming together and loving one another. We are our sisters. We are sisters. Sisters with power. Coming together and loving one another. Mary was a sister who birthed Jesus Christ, who saved our souls when he gave his life. There's power together when we walk hand in hand. We walk by the millions to make our stand. If we as women of this world, let's come together so we can be heard. No more silence. Let's make a change. We can do it as women. So let's start today. We are sisters. We are sisters. Sisters with power. Sisters with power. Together and loving one another. We are sisters. We are sisters. Sisters with power. Sisters with power. Together and loving one another.
My sisters, the power of sisterhood transcends time and space. It is a power that can only be found in one place. It is a place called divine femininity. With unity, when we are called, we bring it bold and mighty. We stand together, and no matter the skin color.
Okay, so we just listened to Sisters with Power because we're talking about a powerful sister, a phenomenal woman. My sister, my friend, Patience's mom, her everything, Chelita. And we have a caller on the line. So who are we speaking with?
This is Rosalind White.
Hi, Rosalind. How are you?
I'm well this evening. How are you?
I am fine. So we would love to hear what you have to say about our dear sister, Chelita. Are you there, sweetie?
Yes.
Okay, somehow we lost Rosalind and we have someone else. So who's on the line with us?
Anthony, I'm Patience's friend.
Okay, so we have Anthony on the line. So
There's
Anthony,
no ages. It's Anthony.
Hi, Anthony. So share your story with us about Miss Chelita. I'm sure you probably called her. What did you call her?
Mama.
Mama. Okay.
All right.
So I don't know. It's not really just a singular story. It's just, they say you forget what people said to you, you forget what they did, but you won't forget how they made you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Patience and I would just be on the phone, FaceTiming, talking about whatever it is we were talking about. And, Mom would get on the phone or we see her, just be like, "Hey, Ma." And it's funny to me because after talking with him, for some time, I found out that both our moms share the same birthday. So like that's kind of a connection that Patience and I had, and I would say in our friend group, Patience is like the nurturer. She's the mom. She's the one that kind of get on our nerves sometimes, telling us what we don't want to hear, what we need to hear. So when I first met her mom, it was like I had already known her because I knew her through Patience. So I mean, I know God got an angel. We hate to see her go, but it's endless love for her, for Patience, and for the family. I don't want to talk too long, but I definitely wanted to call in and just speak some life about it.
Well, thank you. We thank you for that. We're going to go to our next caller. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you.
Okay. Rosalind, do we have you back?
Hello.
Hi, is this Rosalind?
No, this is Janetta.
Hi, Janetta. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Fine. I'm fine. Thank you so much for calling in to share your story about our wonderful Chelita.
No problem. It is my honor to call and talk about my cousin Chelita.
Go right ahead, hon. You can get right into it.
Oh, where do I start? Chelita and I are first cousins. Her father and my mother are siblings. And I grew up when I was younger knowing Chelita when she was in Texas. And then years went by where we did not talk at all. I would hear about Chelita, when Patience moseyed her way to Texas and went to Prairie View A&M University. She definitely reached out and said, my baby's in Texas. But we still didn't talk very much at that point. But one Easter, which is coming up again, is like a reminder, she was at an event that our family hosts every year. And we were able to all kind of reconnect. With that being said, she still talked to our family, my mom, like my aunts and family members, but we didn't talk as much. But when we connected, it was like a kindred spirit. There was not a conversation, I'm sure Patience knows, that we cannot have. And so from that time on, Cousin Chelita became Cousin Chelita for my children, just conversation, laughter. I'm so grateful for the time that we had, especially reconnecting. She was more so like a big sister. So again, any conversation we could have, I don't know if it's appropriate for the radio, but it was fun times. And in this time during the pandemic when we reconnected, we had a chance to reconnect with our family as well, have a lot of cousin weekends, spend some time. We were together for her 50th birthday in New Orleans. Just threw out the idea, Chelita, let's get together for your birthday. She had never truly had a birthday party before. So we all came together. I had a chance to meet Cousin Peggy, Danielle, the other side of the family. So now I feel like I have connected cousins. So we spent some great time together. And we had a lot of laughter. We had some hard moments and conversations, but through it all, she had so much love for her family, for her children, of course, her mother, for her family. Her family meant everything to her. Knowing that she was known it meant everything to her. And that is something to be proud for because she stood for something. And she is Miss Daly. My daughter was talking about her yesterday, about her ability to swim, and she was my motivation. I'm glad I had a chance to share that with her. She was my motivation. I watched Chelita walk every day. She started bike riding. So guess what I started doing? I started bike riding. We'll be bike riding, talking on the phone, going miles during the pandemic, just being in tune with yourself and figuring out what works for you as life changed and things change. And she was just fearless. She wasn't afraid of it. Whether, it was success or failure, no failure was a failure. It was all success because it was a learning lesson. And I hope that's something that, Patience takes with her because that truly was her best friend.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for calling in. We appreciate
No
you.
problem. Try not to cry, but no problem because it's so much I could say. But I really know that she lived her life to the fullest, confident and beautiful in her skin. And that is something that most black women don't do well at times. And I promise you, if she was in a room, you're going to know who Chelita was.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, hon. We're going to move on to our next caller. We really, really appreciate you sharing those sentiments with us. Hello, caller. Who do we have on the line? Okay. So we have to get that caller back on the line. We lost them. Hopefully that was Rosalind, because we lost Rosalind. Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Who am I speaking with?
Robbie Lee.
Okay. Mr. Lee, what do you have to share with us about Chelita-Robinson-Lucas?
Oh well, Chelita-Robinson-Lucas. I know her very well. She was a very sweet and hands-on person. I was going through a difficult time in my life, and my addiction, and she just stepped right in, man. She stepped right in. She helped me. You know what? She came and got me during my boring times. She came and got me, took me to the show. We went out to dinner. She ministered to me. She took me to her home around her children to meet her family, and she let me know that I was loved and somebody really cared about me, and I had a lot to offer, man. So, and there was even a time that I had to go away through some time, and she took care of my business for me. I had some business that needed to take care of, and she took care of my business. That was my sister, man. I'm just,
wow.
You know what I'm saying? I just love her so much, you know, loved her. And she was just, you know, and you know what else I can say? She always told you what you could do and what you could be. You know what I'm saying? So, man, she was just a very sweet and inspiring person, you know, all the way around. So I'm so glad y'all let me have the opportunity just to say that, man. I appreciate it so much.
Yeah. And Robbie, I shared your story a little bit with the audience before you came on. And, you know, I was saying how you don't know how people's lives have intersected or connected. And it's just a blessing that she was there, you know, when other people may not have been. And then even now, just to hear you say, she took care of my business when I couldn't. That's a blessing. That is a blessing.
I asked her to take care of some things because I was going to be going away for a little while. And she and that woman stepped in and took care of my business for me, you know. You know, and you know, it's something because had not she came into my life, there's no telling at that time what would have happened. And now I look at how a lot of people say how I affect their lives and minister to them. And you know what I'm saying? That's all because, you know what I'm saying, Chelita is one of the reasons why, because she planted a seed of love in my heart, man. So, you know, that's incredible. You know what I'm saying? That's incredible how the universe works.
And Robbie, who are we? What is my year called?
88 great. She was an 88 great.
I had to throw that out there. He's 87.
Yes.
We the greats.
She was look, I love the 88 greats because y'all inspired me because y'all like the mafia. Y'all so together.
Yes.
Hey, you mess with one of them, you got to mess with all of them.
You know, I'm a mighty Viking, too. I'm from across the Ave. Class of 82.
That's
but
real.
she loved Inkster. She loved her class. And thank you for sharing how much she loved you.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. And I just want to say once again, Chelita and I were working on a couple of projects, and one of them was the harm reduction program. And I was successful in getting that Inkster ordinance changed so we can pass out clean works to people. Just because they get high doesn't mean they have to die. And we changed that ordinance, and so we can go and reach people, see if they need mental health services, wound care, whatever, and connect them. She also wanted to see us in the Western Wayne Family Health Center, and we will be opening the doors in May for a HIV Hep C clinic for our participants that we see in the city of Inkster and surrounding communities, so we can test them for HIV and do other problem ID and referral services. So her legacy lives on.
Yes.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say one thing. Just because you get high don't mean you're going to get high forever. And I'm a living witness of that.
Right.
Yes. That is true.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
love you,
much.
Robbie.
We love you.
No problem. I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
No
Thank you so
problem.
much.
Have a good one. Next caller, please.
Next person got a call back. It was calling the same line.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
That just warms my heart
Yeah.
and soul
Yeah.
to hear how much she is loved still.
And it's beautiful because, again, it wasn't, I have to broadcast to let everybody know what I've done. I didn't even know that part of the story. You get what I'm saying? He had just shared with me, you know, I said, oh, I'm doing this and I'm stepping in, you know, and Chelita said my name, you know, he was like, oh, let me tell you the story about how she helped me and what she did for me. And, you know, and I was like, you got to call in. You got to, you know, share because I don't know the story firsthand. I wasn't there. But to even hear, you know, she said, okay, let me help him when he's down. Let me run some things for him while he can't handle it. And took care of somebody who knew that they had messed up. And like he said, just because you get high don't mean it's forever.
That's right. That's right. Meet people where they are.
Yeah.
And accept them for who they are.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
what my sister did.
Yeah.
She can meet you where you are and accept you for who you are. Whether you were in a crack house or the White House, she could get with you.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
No problem at all. Just like a chameleon.
I was just going to say, what you call her, a chameleon?
Yep.
You know what I'm
like
saying?
a chameleon.
Be able to be a base and a bound. I know how to be up and I know how to be down with you. And I can do both.
And we did a lot of planning and talking and stuff like that. But Mama Cat used to say, ooh, I hope you and her don't get angry at the same time. That's just going to be something. And I'm like, ooh, I hope we don't either. And that never occurred. There was always balance. Always balance.
What was it, good cop, bad cop?
Yeah, because if she was up here, I can bring her down. And if I was up there, she would bring me down. But most of the time we were even killed because we thought a lot alike.
Okay.
Right? And so that was wonderful. I think we're going to go to another beautiful poem, And Still I Rise, because that young man, he rose like a phoenix. And no matter what knocked Chelita down, she would still rise. And yes, she would embrace those hips, honey, those lips, and anything else that she had. And she would rise.
Yeah.
It didn't matter about her thighs.
Yeah.
She would rise. So we're going to go to that poem, And Still I Rise, in honor of my dear sister, Chelita. You're listening to Real Black Coffee, No Sugar, No Cream, and we'll be right back.
Write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? Just because I walk as if I have oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns with the certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I rise. Did you want to see me broken, bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries? Does my sassiness upset you? Don't take it so hard just because I laugh, as if I have gold mines digging in my own backyard. You can shoot me with your words, you can cut me with your lies, you can kill me with your hatefulness, but just like life, I rise. Does my sexiness offend you? Oh. Does it come as a surprise that I dance as if I have diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out Out of the huts of history's shame I rise. Up from a past rooted in pain I rise. A black ocean leaping and wide, welling and swelling and bearing in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear I rise. Into a daybreak miraculously clear I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave. I am the hope and the dream of the slave. And so, wow. There I go.
And if that wasn't your mama, I don't know who it was, honey, because she would strut and put on them 3, 4, 5, 6-inch heels, stilettos, baby, what? And strut like it was diamonds on her thighs, hunty. The most confident person I've ever seen. Go ahead, sweetie.
My grandmother would say this. My mom would look regular, t-shirt, jeans, and slides, everyday wear. But when it was time to step, she would go in there, put on her best, put her makeup on and come out a totally different person. Head held high, heels on, strutting like a peacock.
Girl, you better say it. She sure would.
That's that. Like I said, that's that chameleon. I know how to abase and I know how to abound. I know how to be up. Y'all gonna see me when I need you to see me, and I can play the back when I need to play the back, and that's that's beautiful because everybody don't want to be humble and have that humility and do the work, because when you out there you got to do the work. You can't do the work in the 5, 6-inch heels, and that's what she came to do. She came to help people. She came to show humanity. And then when it was time to show beauty and we got this, she had that, right? I looked at some of the photos that were in her program, and I was like, go ahead, girl.
Baby,
go ahead, girl. Some of the photos patients on her page, I'm like, go ahead, girl. Go ahead.
She did not play. And could step.
Yes.
And all eyes in the room.
Yes.
And heads are going to turn because of her aura. Yeah. Just that presence. Did not have to speak one word.
Yeah.
Baby, just go.
Just being you. Just being herself.
The epitome of being comfortable with the skin I'm in. Yes. She was comfortable with every inch of herself, baby.
But you know what? I credit that to her mother. You have to. You have to have a strong mother that says, you are who you are, be who you are. You don't have to change. You don't have to put on a fake or a front. And being, being a woman who is, I say, voluptuous, because she had it. Why are we hiding that? This is who we are. This is who you are. Be who you are. It's beautiful. And I love that because that had to come from her mother. It had to. That confidence of spirit.
Baby.
Had to.
You better believe it. She strut like she had diamonds in her thighs. Could take credit cards with her thighs and everything. What? She might have had a card reader between them, but baby, she would walk in a room, and I'm telling you that confidence. She commanded the room without saying one word.
Yep. But that's that confidence.
She was amazing. We have another caller on the line. Rosalind, are you there?
I am.
Good. I'm sorry that we lost you before, but I'm glad that you're back because Chelita always spoke so highly of you. She loved you so much. And when we would talk about the show and some of the comments that we would get, and we would read some of the comments, and she'd be like, "That's my girl," or whatever. So, tell us a few words about Chelita.
Just a few. That's going to be hard. The ones that come to mind most is she was such a lover of family and friends and right fellowship. And she was fierce about it. As well as she was so articulate and so giving. And with all of that being said, had a big personality. When she came and she crossed your path, you remembered her. And you remembered her because she was such a embracing human being. We spend lots of time talking about everything from A to Z. She fiercely loved her family, her children. And, she just had such a light-hearted and fun way of just tackling issues to me. Sometimes, she'd go out there. She'd get out there on a limb and she'd fight every word and fight for you. But through it all, she just loved so deeply.
She did.
And I miss our conversations. I really, really do, because it's so much to my life. She was younger than me, much younger than me, actually. But I'm sure, as everybody knows, she was really wise beyond her years. And that wisdom didn't come from just walking here on this earth. That wisdom came from above. That wisdom came from knowledge of Christ and application of his principles.
Yes.
It's a lot to be said about going to church and learning the word, but it's much more when you practice it. And Chelita practiced it. A lot of people remember it, they recite it, but she practiced it. And even if it didn't turn out well, it didn't stop her. She was really undaunted by hardships and the things that were external. She was really undaunted by that. It didn't stop her, in other words. She kept rolling. And she had such a joy and sense of pride and fellowship. And I'm going to tell you something. She loved her children, but she shared them too. She shared them with other people. And they're so much better, because she knew her heart was a big place. And so it didn't bother her, She didn't covet, she shared. And I miss her so much. I mean, it's just, it almost seems like she's still here. I hear a voice, I see a picture, I read something, a song comes on, because we talked about so many things, and she lived a short life to me, but she lived a purposeful, joyful life. Not free of problems now, not free of heartaches at all, but none of us live a life like that. But what she did was she kept going. Like I say, undaunted, pushed back a little bit, hesitated a little bit, kept going. And I think she passed that spirit on to her children. And I tell you, I'm just so happy that I was able to know her, and I was able to call her my family.
Yeah.
My little cousin. I called her daughter, Patience, my grand cousin. because it was so odd for me to be a 64-year-old woman calling this young girl my cousin. So I called her my grand cousin because I said, I am a peer of her grandmother, of Patience's grandmother, of Chelita's mother, not of the two of them. But she had so much character, and I could go on and on, but I know you're on a podcast, and I wish I could have heard everything, and I'm hoping that I will be able, after I stop talking, to hear what others have said, because I think we can all concur that she was a real light, baby.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a small light; it was a big, bright one, a big, bright one.
Yeah.
Well,
and if you crossed her path, you knew that.
Yeah.
We thank you so much. I'm glad I had the opportunity to hear your voice because she spoke of you often. We thank you for calling in. And Marquise, do we have our next caller? Oh, we lost them.
Yeah,
okay. That was just so wonderful.
It was, yeah.
She described her so perfectly. I can see the picture in my mind. And I'm sure the listeners who have not had the opportunity to meet her or see her, all of the adjectives and things used to describe her, it's almost like you know her, just from the things that have been said.
I appreciate what Rosin said about the old soul. Because I'm telling you, the conversations we had, and I was talking to classmates, and they was like, she was just like an old lady from, and not old in the way she looked or dressed, but it was that wisdom. And that's, we call old wisdom, wisdom old, but it was the wisdom. Like, how you know that? Or as my grandma would say, being grown, because I just know it. And Rosin said that wasn't something she learned. It was something in her.
Yes.
It was in her, and then passing those things on to your children. And I'm really big on legacy. You know what I'm saying? Teaching our children, even as short periods that we're with them, the things that are going to carry them forward. Not, the frivolous stuff, and we so social media savvy now, but the things that are of substance, the word, how to treat people, how to show love, being humble. That is the thing that is legacy worthy. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing that all the rest of it's going to fade away. But the way people remembering her, man, she was powerful.
Yes, she was. And we have another caller on the line. Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. How are you?
I am fine. And who do we have on the line?
My name is Zakia.
Hello. And you are free to share your feelings and experiences with about our dear sister Chelita. So the floor is yours.
Chelita and I, for those who don't know, were best friend cousins, if that's what you want to say. That's something she made up. You were my best friend cousin. And we had a rapport because I'm a life coach where we would talk, and she decided that she was going to be my emotional outlet. And so when I saw her number flash across my phone on Sundays, I knew that whatever I had planned for that time was going to be tabled because we were going to talk for at least 3 hours. We had fun, sharing good times. We were both sociologists, so we got each other. I got where she was coming from and why she was passionate. She got where I was coming from and why I was passionate. She was one of my cheerleaders, and I mean a diehard cheerleader for me, so much so that there are people still in New Orleans that are waiting to meet me just because of the love that she had for me. And she just was a champion for me and what I was doing, so much so that she, just naturally leaked that over into the atmosphere and several atmospheres that she was in. So She was a champion for justice. If she believed in it, she was going to fight for it until, she got what she wanted. And she was just an awesome, all-around awesome person who loved people and who had a heart for the underdog. And that's what we shared in common, right? Because she felt like, don't count people out so fast because you never know who you're counting out. So, I mean, she was a beautiful person. She had, her moments because she could be, all of Inkster, okay? She could be all of Inkster, baby.
Yes, baby.
What Inkster was. She could be all of Inkster or all of the Lord, okay? So whatever you got, depending on how you were rolling, you could get all of her Lord and Savior, or you could get all of Inkster.
Yeah, you sure could get all of that Harriet Street, honey.
All of it, okay? But she was my petty partner. She was my petty partner. With her, I could just be. And there are not a lot of people when I'm a relationship coach, so people expect me to always have the answer or always, but with her, I didn't have to. It wasn't hard. I could just be. And, I could be me in the midst of my thoughts or what have you. And so she would call me and say, okay, it's been a minute, Suge. Hey, Suge, it's been a minute, Suge. What you got going on? Because she just wanted to make sure that while I took care of everybody else, she took care of me. And so, I miss her. I'm sitting right now in front of Mrs. King's house to get my shrimp that she told me I wasn't going to get. Her parents, right before she passed, her parents came to New Orleans. And I was like, ooh, I forgot to tell Big Willie I wanted him to bring me some shrimp. And she was like, that's what you get. You ain't getting none now. And I was like, yes, I am. Watch. I was like, because if he don't bring me no shrimp, I'm not going to let him call me Kazia, because he just can't get my name right. And so she was like, you ain't getting no shrimp, watch. And I'm getting ready to get my shrimp right now. And I chuckled as I was on my way here and just said to myself, I'm getting my shrimp, Chelita, now. And so that's just how we were. We were petty partners. I missed my petty partner, but I do know that she knew the Lord. And I rest in the fact that, she's resting and she, God has an ultimate plan. She did her work while she was here. And so even though night came way before we thought it would come for her, she certainly worked while it was day. And so I'm thankful to God for the years that she was able to spend here and the time that we had her. And, we just carry on in her memory and love her.
Yes. And you know what? When you first said your name, I didn't catch on, but you Gator daughter.
Yes, I am. Mr. Pearly Gates. Mr. Pearly
yes,
Gates.
Mr. Pearly Gates.
Yes, Mr. Pearly Gates.
Yes, thank you
absolutely.
so much. And yes, she loved you. I was so saddened when we didn't get a chance to all broadcast together as planned. But she certainly loved you. I know that. And she always talked about, it's like, sis, I got to get you with my cuz, or whatever. Okay, well, let's do this. And that will be a phenomenal conversation. And hopefully later on down the road, we can still have that conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Get with me. We can do it. We can
Thank you.
And you can
so
bring
much.
us some of that shrimp when you get your chance. We'll take some of that.
I'm getting ready to put your shrimp over some stir fry. You hear me?
All righty. Well, you have a good evening and you enjoy that. Thank you so much for calling.
Will do. No problem.
So that's the perfect segue into this next portion. Chelita was the masterminds behind Love and Logic. She had no intention of being in front of the mic or camera. She wanted to be behind the scenes. Her daughter and I and everyone else was like, no, like you coming up with all the ideas and you got so much to say. You can just come on up to the front. So we're going to play a clip from one of the shows that she named, Why Would Boaz Want Your Ass? Roll the clip, Marquise.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. It can be a tragedy, love. It can be a mystery, or it can be a fantasy. But it can turn out to be perfect love. Perfect love. So real
Stephanie Rochelle said, Boaz will want my ass because I'm spiritual, caring, lovable, stable, God-fearing. I need him. I'm supportive, appreciative, faithful, affectionate, beautiful inside and out and some. I'm praying for him because I don't get out a lot. All right, sis.
Sis. I got that, but let me advance Ruth's story then. Thank you, Rachel, and my Inkster sister, right?
Mm-hmm. Stephanie Rochelle, yep, Inkster. That's our Inkster sister.
So here's the other magic bullet with Ruth. Ruth followed directions very well.
Oh. Armin, you act like somebody punched you in the stomach. Ooh.
that was a bomb that I think kind of went over a lot of people's head just now.
Say it again, then.
Ruth followed directions very well. Let me give you another backstory. She was in a foreign city, Bethlehem, where they weren't serving pagan gods. They were serving the great I am. She went there. She embraced their gods. Now, my mother-in-law come telling me, who technically ain't my mother-in-law no more because your boy is dead, go tell me that I understand that Boaz is going to be in one of his fields tonight. He going to be, out there celebrating a little bit. He going to get sleepy. And when he gets sleepy, I want you to find him, take off his shoes, and lay at his feet. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I'll have a hard time with that. Like, sit. I think I got to go back to Moab. But she followed those directions. She found him, she took off his shoes, and she laid at his feet on the behest of her mother-in-law. And why was this important? It showed that she was, it showed an aura of submission. To lay at a man's feet with no socks.
Girl, them Bethlehem feet walking 1,000 miles in some damn sandals. Yeah, okay.
And this is what she did. She laid submissively at his feet, and when he arose, he was frightened. Like, oh no, who is this? And she said, here am I. This is me. Cast me your cloak. That was verbiage for I'm interested in being married to you, but I am submitting myself properly. So then I'm gonna let Armin, because
Armin, I see him over there moving around, and he already gasping for air and everything. Armin, what's going on? 360.
Okay, well, to answer your question, first and foremost, one of the biggest problems that single Black women have to deal with trying to find a husband, they don't do like what Ruth did and enlist the help, mentorship of a woman who's been there before.
Elders.
An elder who has been married, who's gone through that courtship process, who's had a successful relationship. Most women nowadays, they gravitate to their fellow single girlfriends.
On Friday night at the kitchen table with a bottle of Hennessy.
And every time they have
She said on Friday night at the kitchen table with a bottle of Hennessy. What in the world? But you know, one thing I will say, she knew the word. Mm-hmm. She knew the word. You hear me? And she could regurgitate it just as much as we can talk crap, talk about anything else. She could talk the same way about the word.
But you know, in that clip and in that story that she was telling, the Bible says rightly dividing the word. So it wasn't that she thought or made up, but it was, this is what this means. So even that part with hand me your cloak, that means she then explained to you. She told you what it meant. It wasn't up for, guessing. That meant I want to be married. Knowing that. and what that means, and being able to help somebody in that space. Because, you know, you can't be sitting around the kitchen table on Friday night with a bottle of Hennessy and getting discernment. You're getting something, but it might not be discernment.
Yeah, you getting Holy Spirit with the spirits.
You get some spirits.
Patience. Can you speak a little bit to your mother's love of the Lord and just her spirituality and spiritual practices?
I would. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I would have to say that a large part of that is growing up with the mother that my mother had, my grandmother. Being a Sunday school teacher in church all the time. You know, they say to wear the Bible in your heart, have it in your heart. And my mom did. She had faith like no other. And I've never seen God take care of a person the way that he took care of my mom. Even in our worst times, we were never without. If she was here, she would tell you, she would find money everywhere. And it would always be at the times where she needed it the most. One time, it was Christmas time, she drove up to a gas station and there was $20 bills all over the ground outside. She picked up a couple and she went on about her business. Come to find out later on, somebody had robbed an ATM at the gas station. And it was during the time where she really needed that money. Her faith was pure, it was baseless.
Every time I would want to help in certain ways, she would say, sis, we gonna be all right. She would always say that with the utmost confidence. Sis, we gonna be all right.
Absolutely.
She believed it and she lived it. And those things, as her daughter said, manifested.
Absolutely.
You know what I loved about that story, Patience, was you said she saw a whole bunch of $20 bills on the ground and she took a few.
Yep.
She wasn't greedy. I took what I needed. I wasn't out there for 30 minutes trying to, because see, me, I might have been there a little too long. The popos might have had to rub it up.
They
like,
thought I tried to bust the bank, right?
But she had a need, and it wasn't greediness that motivated. You know, I saw a couple of okay. He picked it up and kept on rolling, and that's in that story. It was like, okay, I'm not trying to take everything for me. I'm leaving some for other people. You know, however it came about, because I believe if found money is God money, God put it on the ground, I found it. Amen. You know, I am that person. I found it. Now I'm not gonna find it the way, you know, other people find it. But if it's just laying on the ground, I might take it. But I am that person who would then say, did somebody lose some money? You know, I'm gonna give it back. But it was a blessing to hear that she wasn't greedy and was trying to get it all for Chelita.
She was never. She would find wallets. She would see people, whole wads of cash would fall out their pockets, and she would see the person. She would scoop it up, not a second thought. Go and rush and get them. Like, hey, you dropped this. I'm talking a wad of money. She was never greedy, because again, she knew
God was going to take care of her.
God would provide all her needs. Now, she may not have had everything she wanted, but she always had exactly what she needed.
She did. She did. Rohan, is it anything else that you would like to say about your mom? First of all, you are the epitome of your mom.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're sitting there listening to the stories and sharing and stuff, and I can just feel that strength coming from you. Your mother poured so much into you. She, every bit of her heart and soul, she put into you. And it shows. I see it. I see it. So as we bring the show to a close, is there anything else you would like to share with the listeners and whoever else will view this at a later date about your mom?
And you know, I wasn't emotional until you just said that. But like you all said, she was a very caring person. She was strong-willed, but compassionate, and she had a direction. She knew what her purpose was, and she actively worked in it. And if she saw you and she thought that she knew what your purpose was, or she could help you with your path and your direction, she would stop at nothing. She would do all she could to help provide. She would give you her last. All the resources she had available to her, she would give them over to you. I like to say, my mother used to tell me all the time, I raised you in a way, you know, you are a bird, you have wings. I raised you in the wings. I gave you wings so that you can fly. Now fly. She, you know, some people can help others where it's enabling. People are dependent on them. But she never helped anyone in such a way that they were dependent on her. She always made sure that they could be independent, that they can stand on their own 2 feet and go out and be successful. And so I'm very happy. I got my little baby bird wings, and I'm flying. I'm not soaring yet. I'm kind of hovering, but I am very proud to be the daughter of Chelita-Robinson-Lucas. The legacy that she has left. I don't even think I would be on this phone call, on this podcast right now, if it was not for her and her just loving on people and being as personable and lovable as she was. And I really set out to be that for others. Yeah.
Well, thank you, hon. And I'm sure that you will be that and so much more. So much more. And your brother, I know that you are just looking after him, and, you know, she will talk about him like he a little boy and he bigger than everybody in the house.
He is.
Yes, so tall and just growing up.
Yeah, she used to always say, "My baby," and then she put up a picture. I said, "Baby,
no, ain't no baby nowhere around
I
here."
get it. I get the connotation, but I'm like, "Baby."
Yeah, she my youngest child, but
right.
You would think it'd be a little boy,
The
and it's
little boy.
just
The
big.
way she was
Makai
talking,
just
I'm like,
towered up
baby.
so quickly over these last couple of years. Like he's so tall. Such a wonderful young man. Lavita, would you like to say anything else about 88?
Well, you know, as you mentioned early on, you know, we are very, very proud of where we come from and who we are, because it made us all who we are. And, you know, just knowing that, you know, she never lost that or never, you know, felt disconnected from 88. We go through life and we go through things, but look at how she was able to bring 88 together just with the love and logic, and how many of us pop on that, and, you know, staying connected with us through Facebook. And Patience, she owed me a trip down there to meet Ralph Angel. That was the whole reason I was coming to New Orleans. I wasn't even coming to see your mama. I was coming to find that man, and she was gonna help me. But it was that, sis, come down. Just come. You don't need nothing. Just come. And I'm like, no, you're going to come here and you're going to stay. And that's what a lot of my classmates were saying, was like, she just told me to come down. And they've made trips down. I know Teresa, one of our friends, classmates, Teresa went down. And your mama rolled out the red carpet and picked them up. And she told that story, She was like, she just came and got us, with no thought. Just loving. And that's something that we all as a class, but also knowing her, just appreciated about her. And even with you, patients, I'll say this, I don't know you well, but I see her in you, not in the physical, but in the spirit. I see it. And I saw that, when we were talking early on, I was like, she is her mama.
Mm-hmm.
That's her mama right there.
She is. And sometimes she would be in the mama role. We'd be on the phone and she would be over there getting us together. Like, okay. Okay.
But yeah, it's an honor, as I told Val, just to be mentioned, because again, I feel like this is a huge role to sit in and fill. But I ask for her guidance every single day, because I do believe in angels. I ask for that guidance, and I just want to do a great job representing not only the class of '88, but your mother as another phenomenal woman from our year,
mm-hmm.
and doing things that help others.
Yes. Well, if all minds are clear, you have anything else, babe? Are you good?
I'm good.
Okay. I will close out by saying, love and logic will continue. I didn't know what to do. And I'm like, wow, because she had such a uniqueness and a presence that she brought to that. And so I reached out to patients and was like, wow, I guess I'm going to just shut it all down. And she was like, no. Because we talked a lot about getting the show together, and Chelita was so excited about doing it and everything. So I'm like, okay, well, patients, you want to fill in for her? She was like, no, I'm not ready. So I thought about it. And she has spoke so much about you and really wanted you to come on the show a lot of times. Yeah, and it just never manifested. No, I just
kept being scared.
So, we are happy to have you. Love and logic will continue. Yes. In Chelita's honor. Yes. Patients, you're welcome to tap in anytime. Thank you for the inspiration to keep the show going. And we will be back with some very salacious, hot topics and talking about that. So we are going to prepare to get out of here. You have been listening to the Real Black Coffee, No Sugar, No Cream, where I don't try to spill any tea or make you feel dazed like you had a shot of cheap liquor. I just want you to see things from a different perspective. And tonight it was the perspective of my niece, Patience Lucas, talking about her beloved mother, Chelita Robinson-Lucas. We love you, Chelita.
Yes.
We honor you.
Yes.
You have left a void, but we are going to fill that with love from your children, for your family, for the community. And every time I step out to do work in the community in the city of Inkster, I can pack that a little bit more. Your shoes will never be filled. Yes. But for me to take those steps, I feel like I'm walking in a path that you've already treaded. And I'm happy and honored to do so. With that being said, we're out of here. Have a wonderful week.
Have a good week.
So long.